So, hey guys, if you're looking for a book that talks about how to take your dreams from ideation to manifestation, then I guess we'll be looking into Soar by T.D. Jakes. I'm going to talk about the 9 things that stood out for me in this book, and I hope they inspire you to take action to this book. So, chapter 5 starts with this note quote that I really love that says, "Good fortune is where good planning meets opportunity," by Tom Edison. So, what he was just basically telling us in this chapter is that any goal, any good luck that you want to happen to yourself is self induced. Even MJ DeMarco said it in his book Unscripted that for you to have that good luck that you want to see, you have to increase the amount of golden gumbos in your gumbo machine by doing what you need to do. So in this chapter 5, all you're just simply answering is what do you want to do to succeed, how do you want to succeed, and so much more. Like he said, don't be afraid to say that you want to succeed. It's normal. I think DJ said inspiration is only half of the equation, but the ability to renovate and reinvent those ideas is what is truly innovation.
It's not just changing the flavor, but changing lemons into lemonade. That is true innovation.
Put the dream in motion, start working, and stop talking. So in chapter 8, he goes on to actually talk about how you should not complain about what you lack, just go do it. And it sounds simple, right? Because the only way to really get those results is to actually start doing it. And for somebody that is doubting, there's two types of failure. There's the failure that comes from doing something new, and then there's the failure that also comes from you not even doing it at all. So if you're trying to avoid failure by not doing it, even by also not doing it, you're still failing. So you can choose which type of failure that you want. The power in competition. I know that as we all grew up, they always told us that you must be first position by force, operation by all means, and all that kind of thing. But here in the book, Tilly Jakes explains it as something completely different. He tells us that having competition actually brings out the best inside of you. So, like he said, you should not only just see your competitors as just competitors, you can actually use them to measure yourself. What mistakes have my competitors already made that I don't have to make because they've already like done it. So it's actually like a cheat code. So not just your competitors, people that you're up against, people that you can also use to measure yourself to ensure that you're right in line. So that brings me on to the next point, which is you can't do anything great in isolation. This is one of the chapters I would say really, really shocked me because it started off with this quote by Henry Ford that says, "Coming together is the beginning, keeping together is the process, but working together is success." And so sometimes you may actually want to have like really big dreams, really big channels, really big businesses, really big great results, and you're like, oh my god, how do I want to do this all by myself? You don't have to do it all by yourself. Big dreams call for big teams, in quotation marks. So I feel that whenever you want to do something that's really big, even myself, I still struggle with this till now. Sometimes you actually have to get people involved, to ensure that dream, if you really want it, comes alive. And so that was what TDH was simply just trying to tell us. So Wilbur and Orville, the famous Wright brothers. If you read this book, you know that those two were literally the star of this book. He just talks about how they had to move from their hometown to another place, to get the correct wind and all the different things that were actually needed to make sure that their plane flew. And even sometimes their plane crashed, but they did it over and over and over and over again to make sure that the plane flew. So what am I really saying here? He talked about a particular chapter in chapter 9 where he started off with the quote by Oprah Winfrey that failure are just your stepping stones. Because sometimes your dream might actually crash, but it's not a reason for you to just give up. I know sometimes it's actually hard when you have something like that happen to you. It's actually very hard to bounce back. Whenever you want to give up, just remember that the Wilbur brothers did not even fail in private. They failed for the whole world to see in front of different people. But that never stopped them because if they stopped, we'll never have airplanes today and we'll never have so many other things that we're enjoying today. So just think about the people that would benefit from what you're trying to do. Think about how their life is so much better. And that should definitely be a reason for you to not give up. So I genuinely feel that this particular part, really resonated with me. In a world where all we see is just the Instagram story, where the person just boom overnight, quote unquote, and you just see the person with 100,000 followers on IG and stuff like that. We never really get to sometimes see what that creator actually went through, to get to that point in life. And so he just tells us that we should value slow growth because it's one of the things that mess up a whole lot of businesses and channels and a whole lot of different things. Like he said, a blessing too fast isn't a blessing at all. So enjoy the days of small beginnings and make sure you take advantage of them. If you keep doing what you're doing, therefore, definitely they won't last for long. And so sometimes by being successful too soon, we might actually jump some parts of the learning curve that we were actually meant to have learned. So sometimes we actually have to take it. So if not, we've missed some very, very important parts of the whole process. So chill out, relax. We'll get there. Harnessing our inner gifts. I love the way he talked about this particular part. He talked about this particular story in Matthew of the three servants, one with 5 talents, one with 2 talents, and one with just 1 talent. So, as we all know the story, for those that don't know, let me talk about it. One had 5 talents, he multiplied them into 10. One had 2 talents, he multiplied them into 4. Then the other one was feeling sly and high and mighty. He went to go and dig a ground and put his 1 talent inside. He said, you gave me 1 talent, I will give you back 1 talent. So, all in all, what he was just telling us is that God has given us many things inside of us, and we have a responsibility to harness those gifts and use them for the greater good. And so, God is counting on you, counting on me, counting on all of us to do something with those things that are inside of us. So, don't allow those things that are inside of you, those whispers that you hear when nobody's around, to die just because you're afraid or something. God wants us to take action. Like the quote says, if we are growing, we're going to be out of our comfort zone by John C. Maxwell. Move according to your convictions and not your conditions. Make sure you take full opportunity of whatever comes to you. So an extra tip from me would be what last part of the book where he said, well, not really he, but where Maya Angelou said that people will forget what you did, people will forget what you said, but they will never forget how you made them feel. So go on and sing that song, go on and fill that market gap, go on and arrange that study session. They might forget what you did, they might forget what you said, but they definitely won't forget the impact that you made on their lives. And so TD Jakes ends like this. Continue to imagine, continue to dream, continue to create. And so we'll not just see you in flight, but we'll see you soaring. So let's say my particular thoughts on this book. Because when I saw it first, I just saw build your vision from ground up. I didn't have any idea that what you're actually talking about, with the different things that it takes to build a business and all that kind of stuff. But I feel that the principles that he has set here cannot just be applied to business, but they can be applied to anything that you want to make happen. And so, like the verse that is on top of the book, they will soar up on wings like eagles, Isaiah 40, verse 31. So I hope that this video has inspired you in some kind of way, to go on and start that thing that you want to start. Have fun doing it, have fun making it, and I'll see you guys next week, or like next month on the channel. We'll be talking about The Mountain Is You, which is a book that talks about how to stop yourself from sabotaging yourself through the things that you think and through the things that you do. So if you want to be a part of that, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys another day of this channel. Bye. We have responsibility, to use our talents.